Now, one and all, it's time for your freedom's firewall, the bane of spoon-fed ready minds everywhere, fighting the human derangement syndrome at each and every turn. It's Brian, I'm in, and very glad you joined us for today's ride. So what do you say? Let's get ready to mortal up. And it's episode 475 today. We're very excited to be back. Again, 475. And as you may know, if you've been following along, before I say good morning to everyone, if you may know, if you've been following along, we're doing 20-minute victories, right? Because one, we don't give a damn about breaking the internet, but here's what we're going to do. We're doing 20-minute victories, and we're doing them bright and early in the morning, as you can now tell, because we want to be able to help you jumpstart your day, to prime your mind for all the craziness that is no doubt ahead. So our 20-minute victories, what are we going to cover? How you can be your own cognitive bodyguard, right? How you can put a deadbolt up to all the dimwits in your life. How you can take care of that. That's one of the reasons that we're going bright and early in the morning, because it's not because I dig getting up this early. And of course, we're working on how you can become your own mind's Mandalorian. Never seen a minute of this. Gotta tell you, I haven't even seen the promo video, but I'm very excited. Thank you for the quote, the mind's Mandalorian. And all we're here to do is to say, hey, you can be that mind's Mandalorian. You can be your own cognitive bodyguard. You can be your own boss. You can be your own leader. You can be, right, whatever it is that you need to be. Hey, you know, I noticed yesterday I was out in the sun. I got a little bit of sunburn on there. So thank you all for noticing. All right, so we're going to hop right into the show because what do I know? Oh, you know what? Because I'm supposed to hit the timer. All right, so we're going to be off a little bit with that timer just to let everybody know. But what are you going to do? There you go. All right. A few minutes over today, but that's the best I can do. All right, so here's what we're doing today. There's so much going on in the news. I want to get to the power of instinct. I want to get up to the whole teed up thing. But before we do any of that, and you gotta, right? Even though I said, oh, you know what, let's just get right into the, some of the stuff we need. And Wayne was like, I don't know. You're going to have to do this. So here we go. As you know, one of my favorites, it's time. Well, I'll let the promo say it. Lowlifes making headlines, or as we like to call it around here, brains that make your blood boil. Here's your brittle brain atop a balsa wood spine for today. And now I know you're thinking, Bri, do you really want to take up the show? Even though it's 20 minutes now, do you really want to take up the show with the lowlifes making headlines? But I got to tell you, and I hope you can see it. Let me see. I don't know if I can make that a little better. Can I make that bigger? I don't know. We'll see. In any event, I hope you can see that this morning's lowlife making headlines, the certificate will go out to Chicago Mayor Lori Lightweight. No, not Lightweight. Lightfoot. Sorry. Not Lightweight. Forget I said that. Lori Lightweight. It's, damn. Not Lightweight. Lori Lightfoot is getting. No, I'm not. I would like to say that I'm sorry, but really, I called her Lightfoot, right? Lightfoot. Lightfoot's the answer. Mayor Lori Lightfoot gets our lowlifes making headlines today, and here's why. Let me just get it out of my chest so that we can focus on the really good stuff this way. So she, if you may not know, is the mayor of Chicago, and decides she's going to put everyone on lockdown. Nobody move. Everyone's under house arrest, which makes me think. Lawyers in Chicago are going to come out pretty good, especially if you're a divorce lawyer. This stay-at-home order goes on much longer. The lawyers and their paralegal, I think they're going to be doing just fine. I think they can single-handedly help to bring back the economy. That's just news you can use right here, bright and early. So in any event, Mayor Lori Lightfoot, right, being the one that says, oh, no, it's not due process. Right, you've got it all wrong. It's dual process. It's a double standard. One set of rules for you all and one set of rules for me. So not due process, dual. She says you misspelled it. It's D-U-E or D-U-A-L. Might lead to D-U-E-L. I don't know, but D-U-A-L process. So she bans everyone from traveling. Everyone's under lockdown. Don't move. Hands up. We're all good. Okay, what do we do now? Well, you don't move about the Windy City unless you're our lowlife making headlines for today, unless you're Mayor Lightfoot. There, I got it right that time. You're Mayor Lightfoot, because here's the thing. And I know you're thinking to yourself, Brian, why are you picking on this poor person, right? Why are you picking on this poor mayor? And for this reason, two reasons, actually. One, she makes a law restricting everybody else's movement. But one, she goes to get her hair done. Now, I know you're thinking, Bri, you're just ticked off because you're bald, right? You don't have any hair after the brain surgeries, right? And you're busy showing off all these scars. You have to admit, I do have more head scars than most Vikings. You're busy showing off all the scars, so you have a chip on your shoulder about this, right? So what? She goes to get her hair done. Well, she broke her own curfew, and I think this is what goads me, right? This is what, right? When we talk about brains that can make your blood boil, what does she do to cover her tracks, you might ask? Oh, you're thinking, oh, wow, okay, but, was there secret footage? Did someone in her security detail out her? Did the hairdresser want her 15 seconds of fame? So she outed her. No, I'm told from highly placed sources within Chicago media, I'm told she decided to post her little soiree for a cut, a color, and perm, whatever that is, right? She decided to post that on social media. So not only does she break her own law, she's not smart enough to cover her tracks. Can't make this stuff up. She's not smart enough to cover her tracks. She puts the whole thing out on social media. Well, there you go. Just politicians looking out for you, right? And people say to me, why do you call them brittle brains atop balsa wood spines, giving the rest of humanity a bad name? Wait for it, right? All right, so I think we've done just enough of lowlifes making headlines, but the certificate will go out to Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot. We'll send it to One Police Plaza or whatever the address there is in Chicago. Oh, and as you can tell, it's suitable for framing. Yeah, she'll be able to hang that. I'm sure we'll hear back. Hey, I have a quick question. If I go to Chicago, right? Let's just say I could. You never can tell. I'm from there, Windy City, right? If I go to Chicago and I get stopped on the street and I'm out on the street and I say, oh, you can't arrest me. Oh, why is that, sir? Well, I'm on my way to get my hairdresser, right? I have I'm getting my head shaved. I'm on my way to make certain that everything, right, that my look is just right. Do they have to let me go now? Since everyone's busy screaming, we need precedent. We need precedent. We need judges that are going to give us precedent. She set a precedent now, right? As long as I'm going to the hairdryer, that must be an essential business. So as long as I'm going to the hairdryer, it's so long since I've been, I got to be honest with you, I use a razor and I just go over the whole thing, right? And I miss some spots, right? It's all numb back here anyways. But I do my best to try to do it. So, but if I'm on the street and I come up with the excuse that I'm going to my hairdresser, one, they're going to look at me and go, are you kidding me? Two, I'm going to my hairdresser. Is that an essential business? And do I now, because she set precedent, do I get a buy? All right, so enough with that. Let's get right into it. You know how much I'm a fan of lowlifes making headlines. I hate to leave it, but here's the thing I want to talk about today. And it's called the power of instinct. Because to be honest with you, even though I wrote this concept years ago, I think maybe because of all the binge thinking, all the hysteria, all the loathing, all the just binge thinking going on, I think you and I have gotten a little bit philosophically pudgy, let's say, or we've packed on the cognitive calories, if you will. Right? So cognitively chunky, you could say, to go along with pudgy. Cognitively chunky. And you and I outsource damn near everything, right? So we outsource everything. We want a pizza. We call someone to deliver it. We take our personal responsibility in this day and age. And like the land of the lotus eaters, remember that from Odysseus, the Greek myth, where he had to get all of his guys off the island because they're busy eating this lotus and they get all... right? They have some apathy, which leads to atrophy. They love the bliss. They forget where they are, what they're doing, where they're going, right? So they're on this land of the lotus eaters. Well, that's the world we've lived in, right? The politicians, the powers that be, whoever you want to say, well, they've given us this, this sense of euphoria. Woo! Right? Everything's peachy. Oh, except for the virus. Everything's peachy. Oh, except for the recession. Everything's just peachy keen. And I'm wondering if you and I have gotten to the point or the part in the bubble that we've fallen for that, right? We've become aficionados at outsourcing everything. But I'm here to tell you, in times like these, and if I have one more reporter, one more internet person trying to sell me crap in the email, if I have one more person say to me, well, in these uncertain times, hold the boat, time out. All of life is uncertain. You and I don't fall for that. All of life is uncertain. Everything about it is, well, in these uncertain times, you need to buy this widget. What do you like, QVC for conservatives? The guys over there, what are their names? Dennis Prager and oh, golly, Mike Gallagher is another one. Hugh Hewitt. And I call it QVC for conservatives because you try to listen into some of that stuff. Every 3 minutes is a give them coupon. We're giving you a big discount, so give them coupon code Dennis. Tell them you got it from Mike Gallagher, right? Blah, blah, blah. Can you just stop with all the sales stuff, right? People are having a hard enough time. You go over to QVC for conservatives, and everyone's busy trying to hawk stuff for you. So all I'm simply suggesting is that instead of outsourcing all of that, right? Instead of everyone trying to sell you something to get through these uncertain times, what could we do? Oh, we could recall the very unique power that is the power of instinct. Because when you have instinct, you get through uncertain times like that, right? That, if it's close to the microphone. You get through it and you go, wait a minute. I have a gut feeling about this. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm going to get through this. And then we go, oh, okay, that makes perfect sense to me. We're going to get through this because we're going to rely on our own grit. I believe it was yesterday, I said, look, when you take divine grace, you add human grit, you and I are unstoppable. Who are we kidding? Everyone goes, well, what would it be like to be in a flow state? You and I are in the flow state when we're just thankful for being here. All the other things, all the other worries, all the other wants, we stop being a human getting. We're in the moment, being a human being. There's your flow state. So all I'm simply suggesting is that if you take the power of your instinct, you allow it to come back front and center in your life. It may be dormant, but it's not dead. By no means is it dead. You might be in a position where you say, okay, great. I'm in charge. I'm going to take control. I'll dictate. I'm not going to outsource my personal responsibility for how this works. How this works out. We talked about yesterday, I believe, how you get to be you get to write the biography of your own history. You and the world. How are you handling all this craziness? What are you going to do to stay on top? What are you going to do to rise to the top? Well, you and I know you're going to mortal up. But outside of that, specifically, what could you do if you called forward the power of your own instinct? What does your gut tell you about everything that's going down? What does it tell you about what's happening to us? And just as importantly, what is it telling you about what you're going to do with everything that's happening to us? Which leads me in a little bit to what I want to talk about for what do we got here? Like 10 minutes left, maybe. No, right? 7 minutes. Good. 7 minutes. Yeah, by the time this timer goes off, I got to be out of here. All right, so what do we want to talk about? Very simple today. The concept, and this went out this morning. If you haven't had a chance to head on over to mortalup.com, right, and sign up for our blog and blurb, which means every morning before I do the show, they get a blog and a blurb, meaning you get to read it or listen to it if you like, before it gets posted out everywhere else. So what we're going to start doing as a part of the 20-minute victories, a part of helping to jumpstart your mind to prime you for the craziness ahead each day. We're going to be doing it here in the show. And then if you want to sign up for a blog and blurb, we'd love to have you. Head on over to mortalup.com. As you know, you can nominate your low-life making headlines, although I didn't take many of those nominations today. Mayor Lightfoot, Lori Lightfoot, lighten it up a little bit at the, she goes into her hairdresser and says, oh, could you lighten it over here? So Lori Lightfoot. But what you and I can do, we can remember that tomorrow's promise is teed up by today's tenacity. Right now, in this moment, in all of time. You want to head over to mortalup.com? You can nominate a low-life making headline. You can nominate someone for Mortal Up. After having done so, you could say, great. So I have a promise for tomorrow. What am I going to do about it? I'm going to tee up my tenacity right now, today. That's what I'm going to do. Because here's the thing about outsourcing all of our personal responsibility. I think. I've been studying this for 35 years. So I've been doing it just as long as all the talk show people over at QVC for conservatives, over at Salem Radio, wanting to sell you a pillow, whatever they're selling you, back pain, pillow, whatever it is, membership, and whatever it is. I'm here to say that when you focus on the moment at hand, when you mortal up, when you tee up your tenacity today, you grease the skids for tomorrow's success. And it's in you to rise to that challenge. And look, everyone says, oh, well, you don't want to, what are you talking about, a conspiracy theory? Look, I want to say this. I absolutely think there's a conspiracy going on. And it's a conspiracy to water down human wherewithal. It's a conspiracy. And I say this all the time, the motivation industrial complex, their self-help industry tactics, right? The snake oil of all the different things. Well, what is wrong with the person you are right now? It's not about motivation. It's about recollection. If you need to be motivated to be who you already are, you've missed the boat. The train left the station. The plane left the gate, right? What you and I are talking about is recollection. When you recollect who you truly are, your abilities, what you're capable of whenever fate comes a-calling, you don't need any motivation, right? Think about it for a second. Do you need to be motivated if your house is on fire? No? Oh, do you need to be motivated, especially the way it was raining here, I think it was day before yesterday, especially when it was raining. Do you need to be motivated if your basement is flooded? You go, oh, no, Brian, I don't need to be motivated in that case. Great, why? What do? Oh, I just fall back on what I know I have to do right then in that moment. I'm not going to panic, right? Because I know panic is a philosophy. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to rise to the occasion, and whatever I need, I'm going to pull off. Great, same with motivation. You don't need motivation. When you decide right now in this moment that whatever you think tomorrow will be, you tee it up with your tenacity today, right now, in this moment. Hear people talk all the time. Oh, well, I'm using the lockdown. I'm using the stay-at-home order to learn how to meditate. Great. As I've said to you before, that meditation, which will make you great in everything you do, right? That meditation is very simple. You pay attention to this particular moment and all the time. You inhale through your nose. Big study today. Oh, I did a post yesterday over on our Facebook page, which you can also get to at mortalup.com. You can hear the show live at mortalup.com as well. What I also did was throw up an article from the New York Times that something I've been talking about for 5 years, maybe 6, maybe even 7 years. I've been ranting and raving about this, but that particulate in the air, when you breathe into your lungs, whether it's abraded tire dust or smog or any of those other things, right? You ever stop and think about it? You need new tires every so often. Well, where did all those little chunks of tires go? It's called abraded tire dust. It went into the air, got caught in the jet stream, and blows all over the place. Well, as I've been trying to say, and finally now someone at the New York Times is listening to me, somebody at Harvard is listening to little old me, that abraded tire dust, those 2.5 parts per million, I believe is how it is. Those 2.5 parts per million, they get into your lungs and it handicaps them. It's like taking a knife and hamstringing you. It's absolutely like handcuffing, putting your hands behind your back, up against the wall, feet back and spread them, right? The handcuffs are coming. So it's like handcuffing your lungs so that when this little Wuhan virus rolls into town, when COVID-19 gets here, when coronavirus gets here, your lungs are like, oh, Uncle, okay, I'm twisting my arm. Uncle, you've been smacking the living daylights out of me with 2.5 parts per million, right? And now I'm just beat. I'm just worn out. It's like recovering from a hangover of, Monday morning when you've done nothing but run around like a crazed weekend warrior. And your lungs are just going, Uncle, I can't do it all, right? Remember Scotty from Star Trek? I'm giving it all I've got, Captain. Right? I know it's horrible, right? You'd think being a Mick, I would understand how to do that. I would know how to do that accent. But you know what I'm saying? I'm giving it all I've got, Captain. Nah, that was no better. Even in my earpiece, it didn't sound any better. So all I'm simply saying is to you is that head on over to the Facebook page. It's a Fan Buddy is what it's called. And I promise we'll get some more details about that. But it filters all the air so you don't have to send your lungs in the battle with no ammunition. That's all I'm talking about. It's like sending a fighter into a mixed martial art ring without a mouthpiece, without his wrists taped, whatever it is that they do, right? Like sending them in without the protection they need. Well, that's what we're doing. We're busy breathing in all this stuff. So I use a fan buddy in my home all the time for that simple reason. My immune system's already compromised. My lungs have already waved the white flag and said, look, we've just had it. So you can imagine if you smoke, if you live in a city, if you do any of the other things that may hamper them from doing what it is they need to do. So in any event, you can head on over there and learn a little bit about it. But while you're busy cleaning your air, while you're busy, right? While you're busy making sure that you're your young lungs' new best friend, tomorrow's promise, you can tee it up with today's tenacity. All right, just to try to hit it on time, where are we? 21 minutes. I got to run. Thank you all so very much. I super appreciate you hanging out with me bright and early in the morning. And each show we hope to be able to bring, as episode 475, I hope was, bring a little bit of information to prime your mind, right? Your snooze alarm's sworn enemy, to bring you a little bit of information that you can use when it comes to battling. Yeah, I know. The brittle brains, the top balsa wood spines in your life. All right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. What do I go all the way over here? Thank you so very much. We'll see you back here bright and early tomorrow morning. Don't forget, mortalup.com. Get a hold of me. Let me know what you need. I'll do whatever I can to hook you up. All right, everybody, be safe. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning.